Hey guys, welcome to another quick Churchly tutorial. In this series of tutorials, we're talking about the widgets. So in this tutorial, we're looking at the button widget. So we've added text, we've added a separator, which was pretty cool, and some text. We've formatted that text, we've aligned it, we've adjusted it. Let's add a button to this section. So let's go add, let's do the plus sign, add a widget, go to button, and again, we're gonna click and drag, and you'll see the blue lines up here. That's where the button is going to drop. So let's drop it below our text. That is our default button at the moment. We're working on a future development which will allow you to stylize your global buttons right here. So that's coming in the future. So let's add the styling to this button. Right now it's just kind of blah. It's just default. So let's click on our button. We'll click on the little edit styling button here, which is the little paintbrush. We can add a button color. Let's change that to our brand color. It has a border color, and I don't really want to have a border. So let's click on, you can change border size here to 0, which gets rid of it. Or if you wanted to add this kind of spacing to make the button look bigger, you could change the border color to your button color, and then you wouldn't see that there was a border. You could change the radius of the border to make it kind of circle. So you can style this button however you like. You can make it full width, which is the width of the column that it is in, or you can grab and size the button to be the exact width you want it to be. If you don't want it centered, you could left align it or just get it back centered. Let's leave it centered. Let's add some spacing between these elements. Let's add like 40 pixels. That gives us some spacing. This spacing is basically giving your elements room to breathe, if you will. You don't want elements touching each other, right on top of each other. It's just not good design. Okay, we want things to be able to breathe and have room to move. We want people's eyes to have enough space around it so they see just this and it's not crowded with a bunch of things. So we'll add some good space between these elements. So the text, let's do edit. This is going to allow us to edit the text, so we could say plan your visit. This is the call to action, plan your visit. We can add a link to a page. Let's do the plan your visit page. Same tab is fine, we'll say select. So now we've added a link and we've added the text. We can add, adjust our settings again. So the text is a little small for my liking. Let's change the text styling. It's Open Sans, which is okay, but that's not our brand fonts. We chose Lato and Montserrat. Montserrat was heading and Lato was for body. I'd say let's do our header text for our buttons as well. So Montserrat. 14 is way too small for this button. Let's make it like 20. And you could even add spacing to make it a little bigger. Let's do 10 pixels is cool. You could change the button color, or the text color here as well. I want it white so that there's good contrast between the color and our text. So leave it white. Our border is good. Our padding is good, which is this basically the internal space between the text and the button. I like it like that. I like the rounded button. You could do square. I like it rounded just because it's different. You could add a hover effect, which is neat in buttons. So let's bring the styling window up so you can see what I'm talking about. You can do grow. You can do pop when they hover over it. You can do fade in, which this is pretty cool. You can select a different color. Let's do like a gray. And let me save it and show you what it does. So whenever you hover over this, it'll fade into a different color. You can do all sorts of different transitions as you hover. So you can slide, it'll slide a color over, it'll fill it with a different color. You can grow and shadow, or you can just float up in shadow. I like the grow and shadow, which is kind of cool. Or just grow. It's kind of subtle. So save changes, let's website preview, and when you hover, the button grows, and when you click it, it takes you to our plan a visit page, which we have not styled yet. So that's why it's still purple. But anyway, that's kind of the basics of a button. Buttons can be found also in your call to actions. So your different call to action blocks that we've created that have buttons, or your forms. Anywhere there's a form like a subscribe or checkout. Buttons are in all of these different elements, and you can style them just like we just did. You can change the colors and the fonts and the borders and the padding and the alignment and all sorts of things. So they're super customizable and easy to work with. Buttons are basically your calls to action. They are what people click on, right? People click on buttons. So you need a good button styled properly that matches your brand color. So in our instance, orange, and it grows when you hover over it, and the text is big and bold, and it tells people clearly what they're going to do. We're going to clearly communicate with our pages that we're going to plan your visit. So they're going to click and they're going to know what they're going to do. It's not ambiguous. It is very clear. You're clicking here to plan your visit, or you're clicking here to subscribe to our newsletter. You're clicking here to register for camp. Whatever that clear call is, that's what you want your button to be. Very clear and precise. So I hope this was helpful. If this was not helpful and you still have questions, simply click on our Need Some Help button. You can email us, or if we're available for chat, it'll show up here. You can chat with us, or you can search for answers to your questions here. And if you're not finding it, again, email or chat with us. Hope that was helpful. See you in the next video.